This is Nick Williams here for Temple of Geek at San Diego Comic-Con.
How do you balance that, and what did you dig into when you were first looking at the script? Was it the horror aspect, or was it the family relationship?
Probably the family relationship for me, because it's pretty obvious that there's some drama going on in the family, in both families. So that was just the first thing I took from it.
Yeah, I mean, I snuck these scripts when they weren't released yet. I think you had read them. I got 3. And I'd known Ian's writing from other things, and we'd been working together on something else that didn't happen. So I knew, when I heard he was doing a horror, I was like, that guy doesn't want to do a horror. So I want to see what his version of a horror thing is. And yeah, it was obviously, you were immediately immersed in something that had dread, which was right on the page, but the family elements, they dropped you into a really exciting way with the family stuff. So for me, it really was the whole world of that. But the family dynamics were there and was real, and I was like, if we can pull off these scenes and drop an audience into this and they can get going with us, we really might have something here. So that was what was really exciting to me at first.
I know that the series is based on... No, I'm not talking about...
Just like regular,
Yeah. Do you guys have any supports also with that a part of your preparation?
I read a little bit of it, but they really have nothing, really just the story itself, so I didn't go too far into it.
I didn't at all because of his scripts. His scripts and the way Ian writes is really specific and his own unique style, and once that was there, I didn't really feel the need to compare and contrast what's there and what's not. You know, it was just more, this is his thing now, so I want to go all in on his vision of it.
Well, and you guys were in an isolated farmhouse, right, in Atlanta when you filmed?
Yeah.
How was that? What was that like being there? I heard it was kind of a little eerie when you were on set.
It could be. We did a lot of nights.
Yeah.
And that was kind of eerie. You know, there was like maybe 20 deer just milling around, like watching us at 2 a.m. This huge field. It was really beautiful. But was it eerie? No, because there's 60 like grips around, like watching you work. It's not like, you know, you're not actually alone, so it's not that scary. But it was the right setting for sure.
Were you guys all there in close surroundings, like staying there? Okay,
No.
Okay, so just shooting there.
Just shooting there, yeah.
We were on stage a lot. We were in many different locations. But the main location we did find, where these families all are from, was amazing. It really was.
It's gorgeous.
Characters are giving the directive because how does yourself take that directive? Would you just not trust the people on the other side of the line, or would you not trust anyone yourself, not just your character?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, for me, thanks. We were forced, I mean, we're at odds ends, these two characters. You know, I betrayed him. We're like friends, but I've definitely screwed him over in a big, big way. So the trust no one thing is, to be honest, for me, is kind of out the window. I need him, and he needs me in a way. So that kind of like, when he says that, I'm like, I don't really care. I just want to get his car more than anything and get out of here and help my kid. And same thing, he's trying to protect his kid. So I think the trust no one, we have to trust each other. That's the thing, like, we're at odds end, but we're forced into a situation.
And that's a great drama about this. That's a great thing about the series as well.
And both of you are struggling with relationships with your wives, right? There's that sort of
I would say
something
that.
going on.
What do you appreciate most about how this show is handled, like its horror elements?
Well, for me, again, just knowing Ian, it wasn't a natural, that's why I was so excited to read it. And like all the character stuff was right there, and I was really curious to see how he was going to be with all that. And what's great, I've been lucky enough to work with some really, really, really talented showrunners, but on their first things, it's wild to see how involved they are when they're really in it. And he was involved in everything, which is what you want. So like those genre elements, he was all about, and really I think he blew me away with that too, because you never know how that's going to go. You know what I mean? And what he did, what I really love is there's a lot of practical effects, which for me, the way I grew up, that's how my eyes kind of take in these genres the best. So that was there, which was very exciting to me.
This series has a pretty unique atmosphere and storyline about it. What aspects of the show do you think will resonate most with viewers?
Well, for me, I don't know what it's like for Chaske, but for me, it's I really think when we get into 5, 6, 7, and 8, when the genre elements do take off, at the same time, the emotionality of the show and how emotional it gets and how attached the audience, if all goes well, will become to these characters, I think that's going to be pretty riveting for an audience. So I'm most excited to see what happens there.
Yeah. I think shows like this, what I like about the genre is I always try to as an audience member, I put myself in their situation. And I think a lot of guys will do the same thing. It's a lot of drama, a lot of like suspense. I think they're going to really enjoy it.
What drew you to the character that you're playing?
Oh, what drew me? Just Ian's pitch. He told me what the character was. He laid down the scenario, and as an actor, I love that drama. I love.
It's all lies.
Yeah, we're just spreading shit about you.
You know what I always say when I say what drew me to the character? I'm always like, it was an offer. I'm like,
I want to say that. I want to say, yeah.
Was it the horseback riding?
No, it wasn't the horseback riding. No,
It was a good deal.
It was a job.
Yeah, it was a job.
I was excited to be working.
On a set like that for a horror film, what was the mood on set?
The mood, honestly, it was great. You can speak to that too. It was fucking awesome. It really was, and it's not always the case. We just had a blast. We just had a lot of fun. It felt like a summer camp by the end of it, and it was just good vibes.
As you're, as you know, for anything horror enough, we're kind of setting the bar really high. So how did you tell people who have no idea what Teacup is about? Because until now, there really hasn't been a lot of information. Today is the day that the information is coming. How would you sell the show to people who kind of, they don't know what to expect?
I would how I would sell the show is probably not the most commercial version of the story. It's more of the A24 version of the story rather than the Peacock version of the story or a broad appeal version. But I do think the family aspect of it and how attached to the characters people are going to be. And, when we're watching these shows, it's always surprising to me what becomes, very successful. Like something like The Bear, we didn't know that was going to pop off the way it did. And I think that really comes down to the relationship and the people and the right casting and all of the elements coming together. And I think it's not much more than that here. I think there's just a lot of the right people making the right show. And I think there is a broad appeal once we get into it. And like I was saying earlier, I just think how emotional this show gets and how those genre elements do take a while to take off. But once they do, it's full on. It is very thrilling.
Your character seems to be like the only person within the foursome to not know about the infidelity.
Yeah.
Is he really playing his cards close to the chest?
Well, I think after that he does, because he's the ultimate betrayal. And like what Scott said, those two characters need each other to survive. So that's what the great drama is between that and the conflict, is trusting someone who slept with your wife,
which
is difficult to do.
Yeah.
And we have time for one more question.
Have we got anything else?
Anyone that didn't ask?
Yeah, did everyone get a question?
Yeah.
I have an unrelated question for you. You were in Echo.
Yeah, that was
Congratulations.
Thank you.
On that.
Thanks, man.
You have any interest in, going back to that role, and have you heard anything about any?
I haven't heard anything. I would love to. They're a great cast. It's a great crew to work with. I had a wonderful time on it. Yeah, if they do, I'd love to participate in that again. It's cool. Yeah.
Well,
And also, I want to say a lot of
Oh, thank you so much. Yes.
So
Soon.
exciting.
September, not here yet.
Okay. That's great.
I know.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you.